Oh my gosh, I haven't been live in so long on Instagram. This is crazy. Well, hello. Welcome to my live. I am officially revamping Kafi Chat. For those of y'all that have been with me like since the beginning, since like 2018 for real, y'all know what Kafi Chat is, but for people who don't know, Kafi Chat is basically like a talk show where like I talk about different things that are going on in my life and like kind of like walk y'all through like the journey that I'm going through to like help other people who may be going through the same thing. So like kind of like the motto or like running theme of like the show was like I'm gonna help other people with what I'm saying, their trauma by like telling my stories, you know what I'm saying, and like validating people and letting them know you're not alone type shit. So like I stopped doing it because like, okay, so I don't really like the YouTube format. I was like, this is ass. Like I don't like doing the whole like iMovie, you feel me, then upload it, then like edit it and all that shit. Like that's bullshit. Like I like the real shit, you feel me. I like the live, you feel me. I can just come talk to y'all and it can just be real genuine. And so I'm like, well, I guess basically what I'm gonna do is just keep coming back here on live, and then I guess just like uploading it to YouTube afterwards, so it'll be like an archive. But yeah, I'm not giving up the live format. And like everything happens for a reason. But I'm basically in this phase of my life where I'm learning to not quit on myself, because it's really important to keep things going when something really matters to you. And Kafi Chat has always mattered to me. So we back on that wave, you feel me. But yeah, I'm doing this live today because like yesterday was basically the 1 year like time period since my ex gave me a concussion. And like a lot of people on here like don't know what I went through and what I was going through. Like people were very frustrated with me because like I stopped talking to everybody like all at the same time. But like it's just really hard to trust, to reach out, to communicate with people when you've experienced an abusive and traumatic situation to that extent. Like on top of the fact that I deal with mental illness, like I was socially isolating, and like I still kind of am to an extent, but I'm trying to bring myself out of that because like I am like starting my music career, and I understand that that could be detrimental to my music career, not wanting to connect with my fans. But like, you feel me, I also need to understand boundaries and like not overextending myself, because like I did go through something very traumatic and like I'm still not fully healed from it, you feel me. I still haven't been able to see a therapist about it, and things like that. So just being patient with myself. But yeah, like literally, y'all, you wouldn't even imagine like some of the stuff that I went through. And like what really bothers me is that women who go through abusive relationships, who go through something traumatic, you feel me, where their partner has intent to hurt them, like they go through this thing where like they don't want to talk about it because they feel like people are not gonna believe them. And like that's so fucking foul, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, why would you not believe somebody like when they're telling you like somebody is like hurting them, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I've dealt with that even before like this abusive relationship, the past abusive relationship that I was in. Like, because my grandma was abusive to me. A lot of y'all know that as well. Like my grandma put her hands on me a lot, and like I would try to like reach out about the abuse that I was experiencing, and people would kind of be like, I don't really care. Like they'd be like, well, what am I supposed to do about that? You know what I'm saying? She's your grandma. Like you probably was back talking, like you wasn't listening, you know what I'm saying? But to be frank, like there's just no reason that my grandma should have been sitting on me. Like that's fucking crazy. Like I was literally sitting there thinking about it last night. I'm like, why was there somebody sitting on me? And when I told people about this, they were like, oh well, yeah, discipline and all that other shit. I'm like, I was literally sitting there like, grandma, I can't breathe, you feel me? Like That's not okay. And so like, I will say that I do think that the abuse and the trauma that I experienced, like with my grandma, directly affected the relationship that I had with my ex-boyfriend, because like I was more tolerant of the abuse because I was used to it. I knew it was wrong, you feel me, because you feel me, nobody wants to be treated bad, but like, so I'll give y'all an example. My mama used to tell me like, oh, like your grandma loves you, your grandma loves you. And I'd be like, how does she love me? How does she love me? But like, she treated me like this. How does she love me? But like, you know what I'm saying? She calling me names and like, you know what I'm saying? She putting her hands on me, you feel me? And gaslighting me and abusing me. Like, how does she love me? Like, how does that equate, right? But like subconsciously, because my mama kept telling me that, like, I started to believe that it's possible for somebody to love you and put their hands on you, right? So that is what happened with my ex. So a lot of people would be like, well, why you ain't leave? You know what I'm saying? If such and such, if he was doing this and he was doing that. Well, because look at my history of abuse. You feel me? Like, and he knew that shit. He knew that shit because he was there when it was happening. And he, you know what I'm saying, broke up some of our fights, me and my grandma. So it's like, you know what I was going through. You know what I've been through. And like, you damn near like using that against me. Like, that shit was just really foul, because it's like, you know, like I said, like, you just know my history, like, you know what I've been through. And like, it just makes me so upset, like, that people would rather believe that I'm lying and that I'm crazy than like that he would put his hands on me, on top of the fact that apparently he has a history of abuse. And I mean, like, to this day, I'm never, ever, 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 ever in my whole entire fucking life, ever gonna believe a nigga when he say a girl is crazy. Bitch, what did you do to her to make her crazy? Okay? Because, like, 10 times out of 10, a girl's not gonna act crazy unless you provoke her. Like, for real, for real. I understand, you feel me? There are quote-unquote exceptions. But y'all, come on now. What the fuck? Like, literally. Like, I'm just sitting here thinking about all the times like he would be like calling me crazy to his friends and like his sister and just all this bullshit. And I'm literally sitting there like, bro, you are literally pissing me off. So of course I'm gonna be yelling and screaming because you've been pissing me off for about 5 days straight now, bitch. I'm frustrated. Like, I'm frustrated. Like, you won't listen to me. Like, you putting your hands on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are making me feel uncomfortable. So yes, I'm gonna get to a point where I'm crying and yelling and screaming because I'm upset. Like that, like, I don't understand why people see a woman crying and yelling and screaming and they don't think that something is wrong. Like, this is the worst moment ever, y'all. There, like, literally, like, I was yelling and screaming at this nigga because he was literally just being so fucking abusive to me. Like, he was just saying the most foul shit, you know what I'm saying, telling me like, oh, you gonna regret leaving me, like, you never gonna find somebody like me, and all this abusive shit, you feel me? So I got real pissed, you feel me? I got real mad. I was yelling and screaming, and we was in a public area, you feel me? I don't give a fuck about no damn scene. Let's be realistic, bitch. You shouldn't have made me mad in public. It wouldn't have been no scene. You feel me? Because, like, I'm real chill. I don't be on that shit. I be maxing and relaxing. You feel me? Anybody that know me know I don't be on that rowdy shit. So it's like, if you turned me up to that point and we in public, bitch, it's too late. I don't give a fuck who looking at me now because you didn't piss me off at this point. And so literally this man came up to us. This bitch ass white man. And he was like, I will never forget this. He was like, you know, why are you yelling and screaming? He just talking in a calm voice. Why are you yelling and screaming? What did this man do? He couldn't have done anything that horrible to you. I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm literally sitting here trying to tell this man, like, he's abusive. He's abusive. And the man does not give a fuck. You feel me? Malik is like, ah, damn, I name dropped. I'm gonna have to edit that out. Oops. But yeah, he was like, damn, look, I lost my train of thought. Where was I at? Okay, he was like, calm and collected and cool, you feel me? And that shit made me mad because I'm like, bro, of course, like, you calm and cool because I didn't rile you up. You riled me up. You made me mad. Like, and I'm not mad for no fucking reason. And it's like this man on the street, this stranger who doesn't even know me would rather assume that, you know what I'm saying, I'm crazy than I'm in an abusive situation. And like, that shit is just backwards to me. You know what I'm saying? If I see a girl yelling and crying and screaming and like she's clearly asking for help, like, I'm going to the woman, you feel me? Or it doesn't even have to be a gender thing. Any person, you feel me? If I see somebody in a situation like that, I'm gonna like step in. I'm gonna say something. And like, it's just like, it's so fucked up because it's been so many times where I remember people like watching, you know what I'm saying, him be abusive to me and not like checking him or, you know what I'm saying, saying anything. Like, and some of y'all on here, like, literally. And I'm not talking about pulling him off to the side, you feel me? No, like, checking him, like, right there. Like, bitch, what is wrong with you? Why are you acting like this? You feel me? You claim to be, like, this man of God. You claim to be this and you claim to be that. But you're being abusive. You feel me? And, like, I didn't understand the severity of the situation until I got my most recent partner. And, like, the dynamic of the relationship is completely different. You feel me? Completely different. Like, and it ultimately comes down to, you feel me, our relationship didn't work out, not only because we weren't compatible, but because like my ex is a fuck nigga, like, literally. So, you know what I'm saying, naturally, you feel me, if somebody is abusive and like putting their hands on you, like, that's not gonna work ever in hell, in history. You feel me? That shit used to piss me off. That was one of the ways that he got me. He would be like, well, you know, we can work on it. We can make it better. We can make it right. Like, bitch, fuck you. Fuck you, bitch. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Like, you put your hands on me, like, with intent to hurt me. You feel me? Like, and that shit pisses me off so much. Like, because I'm not the type of person to do that. Like, even if, because, you know, I'm human. I'm like, even if I do have those urges, like, I don't act on them. You feel me? I literally do not act on my urges to harm others unless, like, it's literally, like, out of self-defense or, like, they provoked me to that point. And, like I said, it takes a hell of a lot to provoke me to that point. But I shouldn't even have to say stuff like that because why do I feel the need to defend myself against somebody? Why am I in such a hostile environment that he's able to rile me up and push my buttons to the point where I do, you know what I'm saying, want to defend myself from him, where I'm on guard, where I'm like, damn, like, is this nigga about to fight me? Like, that's fucking crazy. You feel me? I don't never have moments like that, like, with my current partner. And why? That's because, like, he's not an abusive ass nigga. You feel me? Like, even when we do get into arguments, it's not like, no, oh my god, like, we about to break up, like, or just some crazy shit, because, like, he's not an abusive ass nigga. Like, and it's really sad, it's really unfortunate, because I know that some of y'all on here are his friends. Your friend is a horrible person. I'm just gonna be frank, because, like, I'm tired of holding my tongue about shit. I really am. Like, I guess I'm just on here venting at this point. But, I mean, I feel like that's what Kafi Chat is for real. You feel me? Somebody might hear this story and they might feel extremely validated. And so, if you are that person, I'm so sorry. And if you need anything, you feel me? Reach out to me because I'm here for you. But yeah, his friends on here, I will never forget that day. Like, we told his friend, like, you feel me? He put his hands on me and he was kind of just like, well, he said you did this, this, and this, so really you got what you deserved. I'm like, sweetheart, it's like, how much do I have to defend my own character? You feel me? Like, when you go through an abusive situation like that, it really makes you question who you are. And people will always sit there and be like, You know, why do you think so low of yourself? Like, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're intelligent, you're this, you're that. So like, why don't you feel like it? And it's like, because I literally have been getting treated like shit from people that I love my whole entire life. And people be like, oh, you feel me? Don't let people's perceptions of you, you know what I'm saying, bother you. Nigga, I don't give a fuck about y'all. But if I love somebody and I let them into my life, of course I care about their opinion. So of course what they say is gonna bother me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta take a sip of my tea before I get mad. Yes, I'm drinking out of a bowl. I don't know, it's like an aesthetic, you feel me? It just makes me feel warm and comfortable. Abuse is fucked up. It really is. And like, I'm tired of acting like it's not. I'm tired of acting like what I went through was normal and okay. I'm tired of acting like, you know what I'm saying, I'm okay with the fact that I literally had still have, you know what I'm saying, some symptoms of a concussion. There's no reason in hell that I should have had a concussion ever from somebody putting their hands on me. Like, people don't understand the enormity of the situation, and it makes me think back to like the situation with Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez, because Tory literally shot her in the foot, and people were like, well, what did she do? And all of this bullshit. It's like, bro, what the fuck? He shot her. What? You shot somebody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, are you crazy? You know what I'm saying? This nigga banged my head into the floor. Like, bitch, are you crazy? He banged my head to the floor 3 times. He tried to push me down the stairs. You feel me? I literally tried to run out of the house and get help, and he pushed me down the fucking, well, he tried to push me down the fucking stairs. But I caught myself, thank God, because people die from falling down the stairs. Let's be frank. People die from head injuries. You feel me? I didn't understand, like, when the EMS came to my house that day, like, why they were urging me so badly to, like, go to the hospital, because I really didn't want to. I was like, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I want to go to the hospital. But they were like, please, like, literally go, because, like, you could die in your sleep if something's wrong and we don't know. Do you understand that my life was endangered? You feel me? I almost lost my life a year ago. Yesterday. October 11th, 2019. What warranted that? You feel me? I was literally sitting in my room minding my fucking business, which is literally 9 times out of 10 what I always do, because I literally just sit in my room and mind my business on regular occasions. You feel me? And this shit used to happen with my grandma too. Literally, I'd be sitting in my fucking room and she'll come in there, you feel me, and then I'll leave, and then she'll follow me, and I'm like, well, damn, like, what the fuck? I'm literally trying to get away from you. Anybody will tell you, because it's happened plenty of times before. If I feel like I'm about to fight somebody, I literally walk away. Literally. There was a time in high school where my teacher made me mad. I literally just went to the bathroom for the rest of the period. My dad literally almost got into a fight with him. I just went upstairs. He like, you gonna ignore me? I'm like, yes, because if I don't walk away, you feel me, like, I'm gonna want to fight you. Let's be realistic. I'm human, you feel me? I have my urges. But I'm like, no, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna do that to you. You feel me? You're just making me angry. And this situation is not worth me endangering your life. That's conscious action. You feel me? That's a conscious choice that I decided to make. I decided to not hurt somebody, even though I had an impulse to. You feel me? Because I don't want to hurt nobody. I don't want to put nobody in that kind of situation. I'm literally sitting in my room minding my business. He comes in my room and he's like, asking me why we can't be together. He's asking me all this dumbass shit. I'm like, bro, I'm just in my room trying to do my fucking homework. Like, leave me the fuck alone. Like, why are you talking to me? Like, we was broken up, but I was still letting him stay with me. So I really was like confused as to why this nigga was still trying to talk to me. You feel me? I'm like, okay, bro, like, I feel you, but like, stop, because like, I'm not on that. Like, and we had been broken up for a month at this point. Like, you feel me? We had some interactions here and there, but like, you feel me? We were still broken up. And so it's like, I didn't want to just kick him out because I cared about him and I didn't want him to be on the streets. So I still let him stay there. Stupidly, because put my own life in danger, right? And I mean, like, I know some of y'all are probably going to be like, oh, don't put that on yourself. But it's like, when God tell you to move, you move. You feel me? Like, I don't even necessarily know if God ever particularly told me to kick him out, but like, I know for sure that like God was telling me like, you can't be with that nigga no more. Like, this is your last chance to leave. Like, and I didn't understand, but now I understand. You feel me? So sometimes God gonna tell you to move and you don't know why, and then you move and you like, oh, that's why. Cause literally, it didn't sink in, you feel me, until recently. It was very recent. It was maybe August or September where like I really just started sitting with all of the trauma that I experienced in that relationship, because it wasn't just physical abuse either. It was also sexual abuse. It was a lot of fucking sexual abuse. And that shit made me really upset, because he used to be like, oh, like, you're just saying this to get me in trouble. And I would literally be talking to the police like, no, I don't want to get him in trouble. Like, I would literally be saying verbatim like, no, I don't want to get him in trouble. Like, literally, like, that shit. It's just like, I was just not allowed to like speak my truth, you know? And like, that's so fucked up, because like, I shouldn't have been going through all of that shit, you feel me? For 3 years. For 3 fucking years, you feel me? All types of abuse. And I had just came from all types of abuse from my grandma, you feel me? So it was like, I had been experiencing abuse my whole life from my grandma, and I leave, go to college. I think I'm finally done with that shit. And then my fucking boyfriend starts abusing me. Like, are you serious? And then like, you feel me, with my grandma, it was just physical and like emotional and mental. But then like, in a romantic relationship, there's an element of sex. And so like I said, there was sexual abuse as well. And so like, how the fuck am I supposed to like heal from like this shit that I just dealt with my grandma, while I'm constantly being re-traumatized in the same ways with an added layer of trauma? You feel me? Like, I was just really like, and then so people sit up here and they wonder why, you feel me, I got to a point where like, I just didn't want to talk to anybody. I'm like, bro, I need some time, you feel me? I need some time. I've been through literal hell, and I didn't want to say that, you feel me, because it was still fresh. It was still very fresh, and it still hurt a lot. And I didn't want to even acknowledge that had happened to me, because it was so heavy. It was so much. I was like, I can't even really believe that, you feel me, like, sorry to get vulgar, that this nigga raped me, you feel me, and this nigga gave me a concussion, and you feel me, just like all of this shit that this nigga did. And it's like, I still don't even want to believe it, you know, having it come out of my mouth. But it's like, that did happen to me, and like, if I don't sit here and acknowledge it, like, I'm never going to be able to get through it and process it. And like I said, like, I'm really just telling this story for somebody else to hear and feel validated. I never ever am the type of person who wants like retaliation or like revenge or like to talk shit on nobody, because naturally, like, when you're telling your story, that's what people are gonna assume. People are gonna assume that you're doing it like to spite somebody. But like, I don't really give a fuck about spiting nobody. But like, you feel me, maybe I should, You feel me? Because it's like, what the fuck? Like, are you serious? Like, the fucking concussion that I sustained fucking re-triggered my depression and anxiety, and it fucking also triggered a fibromyalgia spell. So like, I get fucking random sore spots all over my body all the fucking time. Y'all don't understand. I'm like, y'all don't understand. And people talk about, you know, oh, well, like, you're saying that you're gonna ruin his life. What about my life? What about the shit that I gotta deal with now that that fuck nigga is gone? You feel me? Like, fuck ruining his life. He is, you feel me, not like literally physically damaged. Like, that nigga punched me in my ribs one time and I could not lay down straight for 3 months. 3 months. I never went to the hospital. Why? Because they're gonna ask me what the fuck happened to your ribs. Like, they're gonna be like, how did you injure your ribs like this? What am I gonna say to the doctor? How am I gonna tell my mom? How am I gonna tell the people around me? You feel me? Why am I in the hospital? Why'd you have to go to the hospital for an x-ray? Why you had this medical bill? You feel me? The questions, like, and naturally he would say stuff like, oh, well, you know, don't tell because it's gonna ruin our reputations. Bitch, fuck a reputation. But first of all, he used to say this to me all the time. You did what you did, right? Regardless of what your intent was. And he used to say that shit to be manipulative. But in this situation, you feel me? Like, you did what you did. Like, you gave me a concussion. Like, you feel me, re-triggered like many of my mental illnesses. You feel me? Just like XYZ elemental P QRSTUV. Like what the fuck? Like, you talking about a fucking reputation, like, and I'm talking about like my physical health, my well-being, the way that I live my life is severely affected because of the abuse that I experienced. I had to substantially work around the way that I live my life. You feel me? I can't go out and get no job in no fucking pandemic. Why? One, you feel me? I can't be putting myself at risk to a virus while I literally have a concussion. Like, while I literally have depression and anxiety and my fucking immune system is compromised. Well, not fully compromised, but you know, like when you're in that state, like you're more prone to like illnesses and diseases. And then two, like, imagine, so like I would get like these debilitating headaches and shit, right? Imagine like I'm on the clock and I get a debilitating headache. My boss gonna be like, oh, you better push through that shit. Who gonna give a fuck about me? Except me. That's what I had to come to the conclusion of. You feel me? And like, I thank God that like I have my boyfriend now in my corner supporting me, because like without him and God, I don't know where the fuck I would be at, because literally I was staying with my parents and my dad was being abusive to me too. Not physically, but everything fucking else. Like, so it was just like, I can't escape it. You feel me? I'm like, when am I gonna get a break? Like, when am I gonna like be able to like live in my house and like, you feel me, just like, for example, be able to just come home and just go to my room and just lay down and go to sleep and just know that I'm not gonna be bothered or, you know, woken up, or, you know, I'm not gonna wake up and have to break up a fight between my mom and my dad, or like, you know, I'm not gonna have to worry about, you know, this nigga busting in my room because it don't got a lock on the door. You know, just, I'm like, I don't even know this man. Like, I don't know this man. This is making me uncomfortable. Like, and it was like at one point in time, I felt like I didn't have like a secure place to stay. I did. And like I said, I'm so glad that my boyfriend allowed me to stay with him, because you feel me, obviously I can't stay in an environment like that while I have a concussion, you feel me, because I need rest, I need sleep. So it's like, how am I gonna, you know what I'm saying, be in an environment where like I'm constantly getting woken up, I'm constantly being asked stuff, you know what I'm saying, X, Y, and Z. Oh, can you run to the grocery store? Oh, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Can you do that? And then, you know, we up at weird hours because this nigga is drunk in the middle of the living room, yelling and screaming, blasting music. I'm like, he's saying horrible things to me. He's calling my mama slow. He's talking shit about my grandma who just died less than a year ago at that time. I'm like, God, what's happening? I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I'm like, y'all just don't understand. Like, and this is really only the half of it, you feel me? That's why I'm like, you can never like judge people like from the surface. Like, you really never know what they're going through. And like, I will forever hate everybody that made me feel bad about, you feel me, not being able to talk to them. Because it's like, if you went through half of the shit that I went through, you would need some time off too. And I remember people just being like, oh, well, like, all you gotta do is just say something. Like, how would you feel if somebody did that to you? People have. And I was fine with it when I understood what the fuck actually happened to them. Like, I would tell people what the fuck happened to me, and they'd be like, well, that's still no excuse. You could have at least said something. Bro, shut the fuck up. I literally almost died. What are you talking about? Like, I just, like, I needed, like, space. You feel me? And like I said, at first it didn't even hit. It didn't even hit. And then I was like, oh shit, like, I went through that, and that was horrible and foul. And like, I just needed space, because I was like, whoa, like, everything, it's like, it was like everything just hit me at once, and I was like, okay, well, like, I just need to like sit and process, you feel me? Like, something similar had happened to a family member of mine, and she was like, yeah, I'm so sorry for not reaching out to y'all, you feel me, but like, I was in an abusive relationship. I'm like, don't apologize. Do not apologize. Literally, do not apologize. Like, literally, I do not want to hear you say I'm sorry, because it was not your fault. You feel me? It's not your fault that you needed to take time to yourself to fucking get it together after something so traumatic happened to you. Like, I don't think that people understand that. You feel me? If you had said, you feel me, oh, like, you know, I got in a car accident, I almost lost my life, you feel me, or somebody shot me, I almost lost my life, X, Y, and Z, I almost lost my life, people would be like, wow, damn, like, you know, oh my God, are you okay? Like, what the fuck? But for some reason, when you tell them you were in an abusive relationship, you get, oh, well, like, why didn't you just talk about it? Why didn't you say anything? Like, why didn't you just open up about what you were going through? Why didn't you just leave him? Why didn't you just? And it's like, can we stick to the topic? I'm like, can we sit with the point? Is that like, I'm alive, sweetheart? I cannot tell you how triggering it is when I go on a timeline and I see a woman who has died from domestic violence. I think about that day. I think about that day 1 year ago from yesterday. And I'm like, fuck. You feel me? That could have been me. I could have died. Like, I don't want to hear no bullshit. You feel me? Like, I don't... The people that really love me and that are really in my corner are, guess what? Still in my corner are loving me. And that's the type of treatment that I deserve from everybody. You feel me? I have, like, spent my whole life, like, overextending myself to literally everybody in my life. Like, even people that, like, I don't even know like that for real. Just, like, constantly, like, pouring into them, you know. And God had to sit me down and tell me, like, girl, the reason that, like, you feel so horrible about yourself is because, like, nobody's pouring back into you. Like, you literally are giving all of yourself away. Like, and how do you expect to do that when you don't have any to give? Because look at what the fuck you just went through. Like, look at what happened to you. Like, you already was empty, and how the fuck are you, like, pouring from an empty cup? Of course you feel horrible. Of course you don't like yourself. You know what I'm saying? Of course, X, Y, and Z. Oh, I didn't even see I had a comment. Oh, hi, sweetie pie. Honestly, like, I'm feeling strange. Like, I'm feeling strange. Like, yesterday was really bad. My chest was hurting a lot, and, like, you feel me? I went outside because me and my babe, we went to the farmer's market, and, like, it was a pretty, like, blue day. And, like, it just reminded me of, like, the pretty blue days that, like, you feel me, I would spend outside in my car last year. Because, like, I felt like my car was, like, my only safe space at that time because my house wasn't very safe. And so, like, it was triggering just walking outside and smelling fresh air. I was like, this is fucked up. Like, this is kind of fucked up. But, you know, I feel like when I get to talk to a therapist about it and, like, just go through, like, the things that I'm feeling, like, I'm gonna be fine for real. Because therapy helps me a lot. But, like, I just haven't been able to find a therapist. Like, literally, I found one and then, like, she passed. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I was like, I'm grieving a stranger. Like, because, like, I was so connected to her and, like, she was just so awesome. And I was like, like, gotta find another therapist. Like, so you feel me? We're on the hunt. On the prowl. I'm gonna find a therapist. It's gonna be great. We're gonna talk about it. And everything's gonna be fine. You feel me? So I'm a little shaky. I'm a little unnerved. But, you know, that's also a purpose of Kafi Chat, is so, you know, not only can people, you know, hopefully hear my stories and be validated, but, you know, kind of like a vent sesh for me too, I guess. I just get to get shit off my chest. And I mean, hopefully, I mean, my original goal of Kafi Chat was to make it more interactive. So hopefully, you feel me, I can figure out how to make these more interactive in the future and not just have like a comment feature, because I feel like that's kind of impersonal. But I mean, who knows? With the age of technology, anything's possible. So, but yeah, I'm gonna get off of here because it's been 45 minutes and that's really crazy. But yeah, if you watched this all the way through, I love you. You that bitch, or that nigga, or that person, you feel me, however you identify. I'm sorry if this was heavy, if this was a lot, you feel me, but like, this is just part of my story, and like, I really only told 25% of it. I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, I didn't say this, XYZ elemental P. I'm probably gonna do like a series of like talks about like abusive relationships, because like, there are so many facets and it's so complex, and like, it needs to be talked about in detail, because people don't understand what people have to go through in abusive relationships and then what they have to deal with afterwards. So I'm definitely gonna do like a series about it, and I'm gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna invite women and other people on, you know, Kafi Chat to talk about, you know, what has happened to them in these abusive relationships. Because at the end of the day, even if nothing else comes from it, like, they need their stories to be heard out loud, you feel me, even if by nobody, by me. And I will be that vessel, you feel me, because I understand. I'm like, I've been there. I needed somebody to believe me, you feel me. And I'm not saying I didn't have people, but you know, it's so different when like somebody is empathetic with you versus, you know what I'm saying, well, why don't you just leave him? Oh, I cannot tell you how many times I heard that shit. I was like, bro, shut the I'm like, don't you think I thought of that already? I'm like, don't you think I went there? Like, oh, that shit gets on my nerves. And I'm just like, you know, from what I experienced, like, you know, I'm like, I want to be able to give people like the person that I needed when I was going through what I was going through. So, but yeah, like I said, I'm gonna get off of here. Thanks for tuning in. See you later.